That'll do it. That will do it. Welcome, everybody, to the Round 18 fan cams after the Cats got the job done tonight convincingly. 12 goals, 13.85 to Carlton, 8 goals, 7.55 on a cold night at the MCG. We were hoping for a blockbuster, but it was not to be. Disappointing result, and maybe a bit of a reality check as to where we're at and what we've got to do before we become serious contenders. Welcome, everybody, again. If you'd like to come and have your say about the game tonight, I'm going to put the link in the comments right now. Hit the link, come and join us and have your say on tonight. Let's get cracking.
Well, that was bants, wasn't it?
That was banter. That was absolute banter.
And I like my bants to be relatively funny, to be fair. Oh, mate, I mean, what can you say? Men versus boys, really? I had the privilege of doing a preview with Paolo this week, and we discussed that Geelong were the most disciplined side in the AFL, their structure, and you saw it today. 60 points, Carlton conceded on turnover against the number one side. Poor kicking, poor spread. It was hard to believe that they played on a narrow ground. Do you know what I mean? At times, because they spread better than the side that genuinely prides itself on its width and its spread. But loose kicks inside 50. I'm sure Voss will question some of the selection decisions because they didn't quite work out today. It was one of them lessons that you don't want to experience, but the only way that this makes it palatable is if next week they don't do that. But, I mean, they played into Geelong's hands, and credit to Geelong. They outsmarted Carlton around stoppage, around clearance, around the ball. My worry is pressure gauge again up to 200. You take away them short options, and Carlton's kicking started off at 80%, went down to 50. It's poor, and I mean, you can blame the umpires all you want, but sometimes you've got to take the game into your own hands, and we've had shit calls from umpires, and we've won the game ourselves. Do you know what I mean? So that's the difference, and yeah, too good, too strong.
Mate, 100%. I was sitting up on level 2 and we just played right into Geelong's hands. Their zone is exceptional. We just couldn't figure it out for the life of us. Couldn't figure it out. They forced us wide. We didn't use that inboard kick. It either wasn't there, or we weren't willing to take it, or we weren't able to take it. You got to run through Geelong. You got to handball through Geelong, and we just weren't willing and able and willing to do that. And then just, that kick, inside 50, that half forward link, non-existent, completely non-existent. And systematically, it was actually, you know what? It was good. We needed that because it's just a reminder that there are still some teams ahead of us. We've still got some way to go. And I think, of course, disappointed to lose, but definitely one of those games where you feel like you get a lesson. I'm just disappointed that we weren't able to make more of a fist of it. Just never really looked likely after quarter time.
Oh, it was a weird start because it was very typical Carlton, wasn't it? When you kind of feel like they're not on, but they find a way. And that first quarter was really that. They weren't quite on, but they just wanted it a bit more. And they really worked hard that last 10 minutes to level up the clearances. And that point, I think they went 5-1 in the last 10 minutes. And it started to feel like, oh, you know what? These boys are willing it. But after that, Geelong just had done their homework. They knew them short kicks. You saw that against St Kilda. They brought their bigger bodies in. Big Mark, the steeplechaser, he went around the ball and they took them small things. And it's them little things like that that make a great side, where Geelong are the most structured and disciplined side, to a side that is probably in reality 8-4 potentially, as the ladder says. And they'll look back at that game, and again there was chances, and that's something that these boys will learn. You've got to remember the 10 oldest players on the park were Geelong. That's where the experience is. You could see that they handled the conditions smarter than us. They adapted a lot quicker than us. After 10 minutes of that first They adapted to it very quickly. They were very disciplined. You saw Cripps was continually held. And then for the first time this season, we've seen Hewitt be handled as well. Tom Aitken went around him. They knew that was the outlet ball. So it's a lesson. And I mean, it's a tough game. They're there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? It's tough. But I mean, at the end of the day, the boys will be better off for knowing this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're in this holding pattern right now. I think 6 games, it's win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. It's just, I guess it's just that part of the season. You just hope that the lessons are learned. You know, we know that we've got top teams coming up in Brisbane and Melbourne, not to take anything away from, you know, the Giants and Adelaide and Collingwood. But you know that we're going to learn probably some more lessons along the way. Never get too far ahead. But yeah, just weren't able to get near it. Just weren't. And full credit to Geelong.
Mate, like Jay says, it felt like collywobbles at times. It did. For some reason, when it's a weird thing this season. You've seen it all year. When teams take away that short option, they know now, teams, that Carlton want to control the football. Yeah. And again, this is a game where we had more disposals, which is something that Voss really prides himself on. When you take them short options away, though, from Carlton, it starts to really, really be exposed. And it showed today that we're not quite there yet. Unfortunately. Yeah. And I mean, end of the day, credit to Geelong. Really did their homework.
Yeah. Well, it's something for us to look forward to, I guess. You hope that we become that mature team one day. But until then, we're going to have to learn these lessons with these bumps along the way. It is what it is.
Mate, I mean, there's some shout outs though. I mean, it's not all doom and gloom, and I beg everyone in the chat not to get doom and gloom. Do you know what I mean? Not to get doom and gloom, because this will pay us back. To use a Bolton phrase, it'll pay us back, and their improvement is remarkable. And that's said. But I mean, credit to TDK. Did his shoulder, and you could see in the fourth he was hiding that shoulder. Really started to lean with the opposite shoulder, which he doesn't do. But industrious, and I do think if Voss is honest with himself, maybe them selections looked bold, probably weren't the right thing, because Hayes did start to come really inside, which is one thing that you've got to give O'Brien, love him or not, he stays out wide, and at the times Carlton lost their depth. And how many times do you watch our boys play and we get caught on turnover? It kills 60 points again today. It kills you, and it's fast turnover as well, and it's poor turnover as well. Poor Durden, I know he's your boy, and we know we love him, but there was 2 moments there on the outside 60. He just needs that calmness. And you see, as the pressure rises, the boys start making them mistakes, and it is a testament that they've won so many games. But you know, I'm still confident. We'll make the 8. We'll be fine. You've just got to. It's a humbling experience, because Geelong are that good, and they showed why they are where they are. And one day we'll have 10 players with that many games. Do you know what I mean? And a bit of maturity and a bit of you saw it with Collingwood today. They're matured players. Their matured players didn't panic under pressure. Your Pendleburys and stuff, and we don't quite have that yet. Yeah. But you know what? It sucks. It sucks. But you know, we'll be back next week on the live stream. We'll cheer them home. We'll feel better. And much love to everyone. It sucks. I hate being here, man. I miss the days of punching walls and shit.
I know you can't be like demoralizingly upset now, because you know that, you know, we're on this journey. We're on the right track. We just got to cop these. We have no choice. They'll happen. And you just hope that one, like we said, we just hope that 1 doesn't become 2 and 2 doesn't become 3 in a row.
I don't know what the chat feel like, but does anyone else feel? I was listening to the SEN while I was out today, and they were saying that they were talking about Brisbane, and they were saying that Brisbane's best to worst when they play, when a couple of years ago, was so close to each other that they never were out of games. I feel like Carlton's best to worst at times. It's like 2 different teams. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you concede 60, and that was over 3 quarters, it's almost like we're North Melbourne at times. But then we can play scintillate in 10 minutes of football. It's trying to find that gradient in it, and that'll come. I'm sure Vossi knows, and I'm sure everyone else does.
Yeah, no, well said, mate. A well-earned sleep for you tonight.
Mate, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait, mate. I can't wait. But always, thank you to everyone on the watch along. You're all muchly appreciated. I can't wait to catch up with you next week, and stay safe.
Good on you, mate. See you Monday.
See you, mate.
Paul Sebastiani.
The Pom, he just makes everyone feel a bit better, doesn't he?
Fucking cold, fucking miserable weather, and we just did not fucking look likely at all.
Yeah, it was a strange one after quarter time, wasn't it? We're just completely outclassed and comprehensively outdone on the night. And I think you look at Geelong, and they are like it is an incredible football club. What it's been able to do over the last 15 years has been nothing short of tremendous. They are everything that we want our football club to be: sustained success and capable of winning a premiership every single year they go out onto the field. So kudos to them. It's just simple the case. The fact of the matter is they were just far too good for us on the night.
Yeah.
I don't think any of their players were absolute standouts or anything like that. I think they just had more contributors for longer throughout the 4 quarters. So, I think we got the ball to the outside when we could, but it's just so fumbly. It was really contested in between the arcs and exactly how they wanted it. And as Pommy said, they took away our short options. And yeah, we just a lot of errors, and they hurt us bad on the turnover as well. And ultimately, that's what cost us the game. And that, like, our half forward line, oh my God,
non-existent. There was nothing coming from that area of the ground, and it was weird that we couldn't get any run of play at any point after quarter time against them.
They held us back really well around the contest, and they were able to stop our flow sort of across halfback as well. And just Sard and Doherty couldn't really generate the run that we see from them across halfback, and it sort of reminded me of the St Kilda game a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Geelong a far classier and far superior outfit to St Kilda, but I think you summed it up well too. We're just sort of in this holding pattern, sort of win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. And at the start of the year, Vossi sort of said that consistency was going to be the key. And, these boys are still finding their way. They've improved, drastically this season, which has been great for us. But, we just sort of need to bide our time, and we'll learn the lessons from tonight. Like, I think that team is everything we want to be, really. Experienced players who just know how to play their role week in, week out. And, again, I think they're probably going to be the rightful premiership favourite after this weekend. You think they're a fantastic football club, period.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah. It's a really easy one for me. You just got to give them full credit.
Yeah.
It's
as simple as that. No, it's as simple as that. They're just a better team than us. There's no denying it. I wouldn't say we envy them, because I think teams sort of envy us and our history too. But at the same time, I think we'd look back at that game and think, that's what we want to be. We want to be a team that just works hard on their system, is disciplined, relies on talent when they have to rely on talent, and then relies on their system when they have to rely on their system. And they just had so many contributors around the park. And I thought Fisher was probably one of our better players on the night. I thought his game was fantastic. And he just continues to go from strength to strength. But again, I think it was just sort of like, you look at the bottom, and not to denigrate those players, but the sort of bottom 5 to 6 players again, Cottrell was sort of not really sided. Nunes was not great. Durden again, and Motlop was okay. He was lively up front, but I thought Harry played his worst game for the club. I thought he was deplorable, really.
Yeah. Just couldn't get near it. And Sam de Koning, shish.
Yeah, can play, can't he? He didn't let Harry out of his sights at all tonight. Thought Charlie was great in the first half. I don't know about Cripper. Was he wearing that knock that he copped across the chops and the head early in the game? Was that an excuse, or I thought he was? I don't know. I thought he was pretty poor, to be honest. I didn't really like his game after half-time.
I mean, look, Geelong seemed to be able to cut off so many of our players, so many of our avenues, whether it was in the midfield, whether it was forward of centre, whether it was behind the ball. They were so locked in. the Cats tonight,
Mm.
across the park, and what they were able to shut us down with.
Yeah. I mean, they really went to work after quarter time. I thought that sort of flurry we had towards the back half of the first quarter was a sign that, okay, well, maybe we've got this game on our terms now and we can go into the quarter time break and sort of continue on with that momentum, get the ball to the outside, get some flow into the game, use the width of the ground, but just not able to generate any of it. And again, like, I know we keep going back to it, but kudos to them. They're just an incredible team. I just week in, week out, they rock up and do what they have to do. And I don't think I've ever seen a ladder so tight at the moment. Like, it's one game from, we're 2 games clear of 8th, and we're 1 game outside I think we're 1 game away from 3rd. Like, from 3rd to 7th, it's like 44 points, pretty much 48 and 44 points. So, look, I mean, the next 2 weeks, I mean, it's GWS and Adelaide, and not to look too far ahead, but I mean, if we're fair dinkum, we should be winning both games. I mean, we're going to go into both games clear favourite, and that's understandable given our body of work for the year. And that takes us, you win those 2 games, and you've made the 8 pretty much. So it's not all doom and gloom. Just don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
That's right.
There's plenty of upside to this team. They will learn. Fossey will teach them after tonight, and the Cats will teach them after tonight. That is the standard. So onwards and upwards. JP on Tuesday. We're recording tomorrow night. And yeah, we lick our wounds and we go again against the Giants next week. Hopefully it's a big showing from the boys, and hopefully we get Gov and Pitt back. Both look good in the reserves today. So that's probably the light at the end of the tunnel for today.
Yep. No, well said. Well said, Paulo.
All right, my man. We'll chat very soon, mate.
All right, mate. Ciao.
No, have a good night.
Roberto.
Terry, I'm surprised you chose me. Thank you. First time on air, and I just wanted to say, first of all, just thank you for this show. It's just amazing. I'm based in Adelaide, so it makes us feel really connected.
No, mate, you're welcome. Appreciate it.
But my thoughts on the game were, look, I felt statistically, you look at it, we've won the possessions, we've won the contested possessions, we've won the clearances. What do you put it down to? How did we end up with a 5-goal loss from that?
I just think execution, really. You're right. Like the things that we now know about the team this year around what we focus on and what our key performance indicators are generally around the contest. I think we did a pretty good job of winning the ball, but then when it came time to using the ball in the right way, just couldn't get it going. I know that the first quarter was solid, but it was probably more due to individual brilliance. Like Charlie just had a really nice little patch there and kind of got us going in the fight. But other than that, systematically, the two systems really showed where we're at and where Geelong are at. Because I mean, they're missing their key pillar back there in Stewart as well. We know how much they value him. We know how much we value a guy like Jacob Wiedering. But yeah, just execution wasn't there, and there just didn't seem to be the same spark that we've seen from them in the big games.
And what's your view of the selection table? I mean, I know, my friends, family, other Carlton supporters were concerned with the changes. And look, I feel, great for Hayes to have his chance, but I just felt we missed Lockie O'Brien and his precision on the left tonight.
I think we did. I think Hayes, you use the season to test out the list. I didn't mind the changes. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know any better. I don't think any of us do. But yeah, there were certainly some kicks. I think in that first quarter, Hayes had a kick on his left that went out. And I'm thinking Lockie O'Brien hits that target, I don't really have much to say on selection because I don't know any better.
Yeah, fair enough. And what do you see as potential changes or players coming in? Let's look at the positives. Who can come in?
Well, that's the exciting part, I think, because Wiedering is going to be better for it. He didn't look right tonight. He did not seem to. I don't know, from where I was watching, he didn't look to be moving as freely as what he has at his best. But McGovern, Pitto, they are 2 big ins for us. What about you? What do you think we do?
Yeah, I think I'm keen for McGovern to come in, but I've just also got that fear factor of just that continuity of having the same guys around you. Just is that's always what makes a good team. I remember in '95, that's the thing. Just knowing these guys are around you that are there every week, and I just worry that it might not work, it might not come off. But I think McGovern has to come in. I think we need the interceptor, because the interceptor can start the our outside run, and that's that's where we can be broken down at times. You look at the St Kilda game, we need some outside play.
True. Yeah, for sure. And we just weren't able to generate that same run as well from what I saw. And that was mostly due to, I think, just the way the Cats were aware of us at all times. All of our dangerous players, they seem to be aware of every single one of them. I don't really think many of our players got off the leash. Maybe Charlie for a little bit, but other than that, I think Walsh was pretty solid. Fisher was pretty solid, but yeah, a good lesson.
Yeah, for sure. But look, 2 winnable games coming up, and if we can get over the line, well, then that's at least finals ticked off, and then we've got to at least win one of those last 3. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but the next 2 really are winnable, and we need to execute.
Yeah, spot on. Mate, thanks so much for joining.
Oh, thanks, Terry. Appreciate you having me on.
See you, mate.
Go Blues.
Go Blues. Ari.
That was, I don't really want to repeat a whole lot of what everyone else has said, but yeah, that was shithouse. Really?
Yeah, it was a bit of men versus boys. We just went into the
It felt like
Geelong
that,
grammar. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, they kind of put us in our place a little bit. It was just the year 12s betting up against the year 9s, it felt like.
A good reminder for the group. I think it's a good thing. I really do.
We'll be grateful for it. Yeah, I
think so. I mean, I even got sucked into the top 4 talk a little bit as well, but we're just not there yet.
Yeah, we're not, and it's not a bad thing.
No,
it's not a bad thing. No, I feel like having these reality checks and these kind of humbling losses, because we weren't smashed. Like, we didn't lose by 100 points or 10 goals or anything, but we just got outclassed. And that's probably the worst thing, is that Geelong always had us at arm's reach. For the whole of the second half, they just had us where they wanted us. And it was a game where it didn't feel like we were in it. Even when we hit the front, It didn't feel like we had the game on our terms. I mean, maybe you could say, like, when Motlop kicks a goal in the first, we're up and about and whatever, but yeah, I just didn't feel like anything went nowhere.
No. What do we do for next week? I think Roberto asked me before about the changes. Like, we have to make some changes, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I didn't watch the VFL, so I can't exactly say with 100% certainty, but I think we have to be careful as well. We can't swing the axe when we potentially don't need to. I feel like we've only swung the axe once this year. That was potentially after Gold Coast, where we had that 4 or 5 changes, and then everyone else. I think O'Brien came to the team, Cottrell came to the team around about that time. We just need to be careful with our selection. We can't just be like, oh my God, Plowman, Nunes, Hayes, just get rid of 4 blokes, because I think everyone had a bad day. So you can't pick and choose who you want just based off history. I feel like you have to take it on merit. And I think Hayes played okay today, especially for his first proper game in this system. I thought he played fine. I didn't think anyone played poor, which is weird. I don't think anyone played poor, but I don't think anyone played well for both teams. It was more just systematically broken down. So I don't feel like it's fair to swing the axe. I feel like if the only thing is that if Pito's fit, he comes straight in.
Yeah, well, I think Pommy said, obviously I was at the game, I think Pommy mentioned that TDK hurt his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
So it was in a ruck contest. It was in a ruck contest. He missed the tap or whatever, and then he was holding it and kind of almost putting it in like a sling position. for the rest of the quarter, and then he wasn't really leaning onto it.
Right.
So I don't know. It didn't look dislocated from what I saw.
Yep.
I was at home because MCG parking is probably the worst parking I've ever tried to fucking do. So I actually missed the first 2 quarters. I missed the first half or missed the first quarter and a half because I couldn't find parking. So I was like, fuck this, I'm going home.
And you went home and watched it. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean that kind of was like, we were never destined to win if that shit happened. But yeah, I feel like next to a must win, no?
Next week. Well, of course. I mean, look, the one thing we've done all year with this group is always respond after a loss.
Yeah.
Always. So, we've still got work to do. We've got, what are we? Are we 11 wins now? We're 11 wins, 6 losses. Got to get a couple more. Just lock in the spot, and then we can start talking about home finals and whatnot. Obviously, Richmond losing today was massive for us.
Yeah.
We'll definitely benefit from that. But yeah, next week's a big one. We've got to make sure we get the job done next week.
Yeah. Question, because I feel like this hasn't been brought up. Do we crumble under pressure?
A little bit, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think we've fully learned.
Are you concerned?
No, I'm not concerned. No, I'm not concerned. I just think that's just where we're at.
Yeah,
I think the better teams will crunch us, similar to what will squeeze us out, similar to what Geelong did tonight, and it's going to happen. We've just got to figure out a way through it.
The only reason I bring that up is because under the heat of finals, and you'd expect we get there. The finals type games that we played this year, you look at Richmond, probably both times, Collingwood tonight. We don't really, I don't know. I feel like, especially at the G, because at Marvel, I feel like regardless of atmosphere, whatever, we play well at Marvel, but all our finals will be at the G.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, especially if say we come up against a Collingwood or a Richmond round or elimination final. That's probably one of the worst case scenarios, in my opinion.
We have to learn to deal with it, yeah. And to be honest, the dirty little secret seems to be the only way to be able to deal with the pressure is to continue to play in the pressure games. And we haven't really been in many real high pressure games because for a lot of the time, we're either so far behind the rest of the 8 or we're not relevant. And we're just hoping that we can be relevant. So, tonight was kind of build. I really did think this was like a potential blockbuster game. I really did. I thought it was going to be back and forth and tight. But you're right. Like once Geelong turned the screws up, fuck, they're good. They're fucking good. Fuck.
It sucks because, but the good thing is that, I mean, we now know what it is.
Yeah.
We now know, oh wait, we're actually really far off. Like we're good. We're good against teams we should beat. We beat them quite comfortably as well. But we're quite far off.
We're good, not great. I think Geelong are great. I think that's the difference.
Probably the perfect way of saying it.
Yeah, but we'll be right. I'm not panicking yet.
Yeah, I feel like everyone just needs to calm. Calm. Settle on
I opened Twitter. I opened Facebook. I saw Lockie Plowman's name, and I'm like, swipe out.
Yeah.
The scapegoating of Plowman.
It's the 3 players: Nunes, Plowman. O'Brien didn't play tonight, but it would be him. If O'Brien was in, O'Brien could have had the exact same game as Hayes, and those 3, regardless, always on the chopping block.
Yeah,
always. It's funny, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. We'll come here and chat here, and then I'll go to sleep and get on with it.
Well, that's what I mean. We always do that. We always show up. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't not face it, can we?
No, that's right. That's right. All right, Ari, you're a star, mate. Thanks so much.
Thanks, mate. Speak soon.
Ugo with an $80 donation in a loss. Thank you very much, mate. It's extremely humbling. Let's go with Zach.
Oh, mate. I bought the AFL records today, and I was skimming through it through halftime, and there was a quote from Voss in there that was highlighted, and it said that the conversation of finals isn't one we're having. Now, that's not to say that we're not going to make the finals. I'm pretty confident that we are, as are everyone else. But I think we have to get it right on the field first before we can look at the ladder. I just think that's more broader than, I guess, what happened on the field today. It's just, as you said, it was a humbling result. I thought McGovern's usage of halfback, like what he did in round 1 against Richmond, was missed, I reckon, because of halfback. You said, in the comments that there was there were turnovers off halfback, and that killed us, which is true. And McGovern's intercept as well, but I don't think that was the main thing that we missed from him. It was it was the way that we went off halfback. And I was listening to the commentary in my ear, and they kept saying about Geelong's zone, it was so well set up, and we just couldn't play through it.
No, we couldn't. It was impressive. I had a little bit of elevation tonight. I was sitting on level 2A, sort of behind the goals, and you just saw the way that they were set up to our next kick. They knew where we were going. They knew what we wanted to do. They knew what our next option was. They knew what our plan B and seemingly what our plan C was. And I feel like the game asked us to run our way around them and run our way through the pressure, and we weren't able to do it. And sometimes we tried, and then we'd turn it over, and we'd go back to the kicking game. It's just you're not gonna chop up Geelong by foot. It's not gonna happen.
And even if we did win the clearances on the rare occasion, it was just a hack kick. And I think the forward line, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, it was Harry and Charlie and everyone else way up forward. It was, which played into their hands. That, they didn't need Stewart. They didn't need really anyone. They just needed us to kick it down their throat like we were doing the whole night. I think, it's not about really kicking efficiency. It's about, how you are actually entering your forward 50 based off what they're showing defensively, which was really, really good, as you've said. And, I think Fisher, just as a positive, he was really, really good. He was literally everywhere. He was, in the midfield, he was half back, he was on the wing, he was half forward. So it's been good to see him in the midfield, and I think the midfield mix, was right, but the way that they just dominated, I think it's more of them being good than us being bad tonight. But
yeah, fair.
That's what it is.
Good call. I like it. Love your work. Thanks, mate.
See you, mate. Have a good one.
You too. Sayaf.
Hey, brother.
How are we?
Yeah, all right. Obviously, not an ideal result.
No.
Got beat systematically. I guess clear that their level's above us. I mean, come on, they're first on the ladder, And to be completely honest with you, even going into the game, I wasn't too confident we're going to win. It was 70-30 Geelong. Like, it sucks to believe that as a supporter of the club, but kind of saw it coming. But yeah, we just got our class, man, all day. That's it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I was confident that we were capable of winning, but I was pretty confident that Geelong were just as capable of winning as well. And then I think the most disappointing part for me tonight was it wasn't like we never really put ourselves in a winning position. That was the disappointing thing. I'll always cop a loss. I'll never cop a 10-goal bad loss like what we've seen the last few years.
Yeah.
But we just at this point in the year, I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to give Geelong a real test. And we
100%. In saying that, I'm not saying I didn't believe we couldn't win. 100%. We play our best footy, we can win that all day. But they're just, man, they've been a great club for a long, long time. All respect to them. We can't blame umpires. I get it, inconsistent, man. I hate the fans in front of me, man. Or behind me, just everyone blaming the umpires. We killed ourselves all game, man. Our kicking was honestly atrocious. Some of the decision making, the kicking, it was bad, man. Weeders doesn't look like the same player yet.
No,
something's going. Maybe last week he didn't get to be involved as much as he should have. But yeah, he just doesn't look the same, does he? Yeah.
Doesn't have the same sharpness to him. Doesn't seem to have the same confidence yet. And that's the thing. I think that's why it's important to get McGovern in, to get Pitto in, because they're still probably going to need 2, 3, 4 weeks, with some continuity.
Yeah, man. Look, we saw round 1, round 2, how important Gov is. And obviously, if he keeps his body right, 100% he comes in the team. I can't stand the people who bag Plowman after each fucking loss, man. Like, he come on, what did he do wrong? Like, he wasn't even that bad, man. Like, in saying that, the Gov probably does come in for Plow, and if Pito's fit, he comes in and we'll probably take out a small forward. I'd say probably Dirds or Motlop, has to be one or the other. Because then you'd probably play 3 talls with DeConing being the third tall, and rotates through the ruck. That's what I think. Selection wasn't the issue tonight. We had a team that could have won that game, but I guess excluding the first quarter, we weren't really in it. Like, that recovery at the end of the first quarter was like, all right, we're in it with a shot. But after that, man, I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, well, that's what got me excited. I thought, we haven't really been at our best, but we're still ahead. But this is what happens when you play finals and prelims and semis year after year. You get opportunities like this, and you just put teams away really convincingly without needing to seemingly stretch yourselves, and that's what happened. So
that's it. Yeah, they're first on the ladder, man, for a reason.
Yeah.
And the difference between this year and last year is last year we questioned the effort a lot.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are they doing? Are they even playing for the jumper? Why are we showing up? Now it's not the effort, whereas it's kind of just, like I said, we lost systematically. That's it. You're not questioning the effort. The effort was there. But it's just one of those. I think in the long run will be a lesson. And hopefully something good to come out of it. Next 2, if we want to play finals, are must wins, especially next week. It's at home. We beat them away. We've got to beat them at home next week. Adelaide, even that, but I think we'll be all right, man.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's tough to tell. You obviously can't read too much into the future, but finals was the goal ultimately at the start of the year. And if we tick that off, then we can take it first week of finals.
Yeah, no, spot on. Good on you, brother. Appreciate you.
I'll speak to you soon, man.
See you, man. Toby.
Hey, Tez, how are you, Matt?
I'm okay, mate. I've been better, but I've also been worse.
So have I, Matt. So have I. Terry, can I just start off tonight by doing a shout out to one of my mates who watches? If I can.
Make it quick, but let's talk about the game. It's better to talk about the game.
All right. Yeah, I'll talk about the game. So yeah, I thought we were. I mean, Geelong are a good side, and they're a very, very good side, as every other callers come on and said tonight. I just think we just lack in getting back at times. And I mean, I know you were there tonight. From your angle, do you think we lack a getting back at times when we either are having a shot on goal and we put too much pressure on ourselves? I would just like to see what you think about this.
No, I don't think we lack our ability to get back. I think tonight we're out of position a lot of the night. And I don't know if that was our decision making or if it was what Geelong. I just choose to give Geelong the credit there. I think they forced us to do things and they forced us into positions that were not good for us.
I think we just look like I don't know what it is. Maybe we just panic a little bit when we're going down the line, and we look like we've got the option there, but we don't know how to get it to that person. And then if we get the turnover, it hurts against us, because turnover footy, when we get heavily scored against, we don't know then how to respond back or get out of the middle. And it just looks like we just need to, I don't know if Voss needs to just think about it a bit more, but look, I think we'll be right. But you're right, the next 2 weeks, we do have to show. Because as we said a couple of weeks ago when I last came on, lost win. You don't want to be dropping too much now before finals. Because if we do that, then you think about it and you go, well, where we are in the 8, and then if we do that, there's potential again.
Hmm.
I don't want to miss the 8, Terry.
No, we've still got
I
plenty of
think
footy
we're
to
all
play,
like that,
Toby.
man, as Carlton supporters.
Plenty of footy to play, mate. We got plenty of footy to play. Let's just get through next week and then we'll go from there.
Oh, absolutely. 1 week at a time. All right, Matt.
Love
I'll
it.
let you
Thanks,
go.
Toby.
I'll be short and
Appreciate you, mate.
sweet. And I'll talk to you soon.
Good on you, legend.
See you, Matt.
Yuval.
Terry, it's been a while since I've been on your exalted cameras. So look, it's deflating, it's frustrating. I've had 20 years of this shit, but there's some positives, and I'd like to start off. One of the positives this year with Voss is it seems that we've learnt from our losses, which was exemplified with Freo. So we have 3 non-negotiables for the rest of the year. We have to come out next week and fucking smash GWS, right? We have to go and smash the fucking scum who have now leapfrogged above us in the fucking ladder. And who else did we beat that we're playing again, that we lost to? The scum. Well, we got to beat GWS.
GWS, Adelaide. We've got Melbourne.
Adelaide. We have to beat Adelaide. Yeah, we have to beat Adelaide, who we already beat, right? But we're playing them at home. So we can't drop any of those 3 games. We have to win them, or else we are truly we haven't improved that much, right, this year. I think the big failure tonight was our outside run, which was terrible. And it's been terrible for a while. And it hurts us a lot, you know, like when, say, we intercept in the back half, we get it off to one of the wingers, which are usually our 6 worst players, which is Noons, Hayes. I thought Cottrell was a lot better today. I thought he did his job and was honest, but Noons, those guys, when they come up against good teams, they're the rubbish they are, and they'll never be anything else. Hopefully we can correct this, or Voss can correct this in the next 6 weeks and somehow implement it into our game plan. But if we go back through this year, we've dropped quarters, you know, we've had leads of 48, 30 points against crappy teams that have come back. And then, you know, we've scrapped a win, or like last week against West Coast, we smashed them in the last. But, you know, we haven't tightened that aspect of our game up, you know, and we have that opportunity from now until the rest of the year. We've played the best. I mean, we played a team that they're playing for a flag. We're playing just to make the 8. If we don't learn from this game, it'll be very disappointing for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I mean, and, you know, we've got some good tests coming up with some bona fide teams. I think Brisbane away, Melbourne at the MCG, they're just perfect situations for the group.
They're winnable because they're vulnerable. Brisbane are vulnerable. Melbourne, possibly. I mean, we beat them by 1 point in the practice match, but, you know, there's an opportunity for us to beat them and to learn something. But we've played against the best, most drilled team. I mean, it was pathetic. I mean, I was watching it on the TV. Every time the ball came in, you know, we rebounded it from our back half. Geelong just flooded back. All the players picked up their players, you know, and schmucks like Nunes, they'd hold the ball. And Chera, that's another one I want to throw in. Chera, he was terrible against St Kilda. He was good against West Coast. Again, he was serviceable against Geelong today. This is a guy we're playing $800,000 to, you know. So
are we?
Something like that. We're paying him a lot of money. He's on big money. And I'm still on the fence about, I mean, Williams was very, well, that's still a loss. There's nothing we can do because Williams is good for our outside run. And Jack Martin's another one who I think is a dud that we're not going to get any more mileage out. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Chera is actually meant to be one of our first-class outside runners. He's been rated very highly. I don't think I've seen him. He's played a few okay games. He was good against Richmond at the beginning of the year, but I don't know. But there's an opportunity there for these guys. You know what I mean? I'd like to see Chera be that link-up guy on the outside and work effectively, but he was completely ineffective, along with Noons, who he knows rubbish. O'Brien's been very good on the outside the last month. I don't know why we've got all these people bagging him. I mean, I think he's improved. Him and Cottrell, I think both of them, their ball use has become a lot better. I mean, it's not perfect, but they've been more effective than they've been shitouts.
Yeah.
And, geez, it'd be nice if we had another two players like Sard as well, also for our outside run.
That would. It would.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate your thoughts, Yuval. I appreciate you coming on and having your say, mate.
Yeah, thanks. We've got 3 non-negotiables. Just remember that. We can't win those games, fuck. Next year in Jerusalem, as my tribe likes to say.
1 week at a time. Good on you, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got an empty waiting room, so I'm going to put the link in one more time. Maybe give it 30 more seconds, and then if not, that'll be the fan cams. Short and sharp. It was pretty straightforward tonight. Pretty straightforward. Outclassed, beaten by a team that's ahead of us. I think, kind of goes to show what happens when you consistently make top 4 year after year and what you're able to do. You can just see the confidence that they have in what they do and the smarts that they have on the field. I think Paul Sebastiani mentioned it before. They didn't seem to have standout players or superstar games. They had some really strong contributors across the board, and that's something I think we want to get to. So, all right, I've got one more. There's a Geelong boy. This will be interesting. My man, Matthew Craig.
How we doing, brother?
We're doing good, mate. We just spent 47 minutes reminding ourselves that the Cats have got our number.
Yeah, well, you're not far off. Like, have hope, Blues fans. Like, I think you guys, we're a pretty good outfit, and we've got one last crack at it. I think, as I said, give us this one, you can have 2 of the next 5.
It's a fair deal. It's a fair deal. So you think
Blues fans? I think you guys are. You're a fair crack.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show what happens when you have experience in the side. I think the narrative around Geelong being old and whatnot is one thing, but there's a reason why you bring experienced players in, because they know how to work a system.
That's what it was. Without Stewart tonight, we still managed to have a good system, and that only comes through experience and playing together. Like, this group has now played a lot of football together over the last 3 or 4 years. So that's what you see. That's where you guys have been. Give it another 2 years. Win a final this year. Make finals, win a final, and you guys have overachieved, I reckon. So.
And then we're on our way.
Yeah, you're doing all right. Tune up.
Love it.
Brother.
Love it. Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming on. Jim.
Hey, Terry. How you going, man?
I'm all right, man.
It's good. How was it there tonight, man? Because obviously I'm South Australia, so I didn't get to go.
It was weird. That's what it was. I mean, for me personally, I can only speak on myself. I went there thinking we're going to give it a red hot crack tonight. And then quarter time, I was up and about, and then just flat. Nothing really happened after quarter time, it seemed. Couldn't get anything going.
The atmosphere good, though, between the fans, like the Blues fans?
I felt like our fans couldn't really get going because we didn't really give them much to get going for. And then I noticed what happens is the way that we can create energy is one of 2 ways. Either the boys doing something really good, like kicking goals and all of that, or a big tackle, or poor umpiring decisions that usually get us up and about and get the energy going. So, yeah, just strange. But we weren't good enough.
Yeah. It felt like watching the game on telly tonight, the fans couldn't quite get into it, just like you mentioned. It was either a free would go against us or, I don't know what's happened to holding the ball this year, but whatever. I don't want to talk about umpires or whatever. It's all good. It all evens out in the wash. But, yeah, it just felt like the Blues crowd just couldn't quite get into it. And the boys, if they maybe got 1 or 2 before halftime, I reckon we were on. But this is a lesson that we'll learn this year, and I actually think we'll be better for it. And I still believe we can win it this year. I really do. Like, we've got weapons, but Geelong took them away. They played chess tonight, and we were playing checkers. We weren't switched on.
Yeah.
I thought we couldn't play any worse tonight.
Yeah. No, we definitely didn't seem to have that same assuredness of what we were doing. I don't know if it was a confidence thing, but it just didn't seem to have what we've seen from them. Because the beauty of it now is we know exactly what they look like at their best. And the way they play with this focus just didn't seem to have that tonight.
No, you're spot on. And plus, looking at it again, just watching from the telly, but I don't think Geelong really put a foot wrong tonight. Like, maybe they got a little shaky at the end of the first quarter when we were piling the pressure on. But other than that, they were in control. They played a very complete game tonight, Geelong. So credit to Geelong. They're the benchmark, I think, this year. But I really think we can win. I reckon at minimum we will win 3 games for the remainder of the season. But I think we can win like 4. And I still think we could sneak top 4. Not that I expect it, but it's possible. I just think, they're the benchmark. We're a mile off tonight. And what can you do? Like, we just got to move on now. Next game. As long as our fans don't get too toxic, though. Because it's Twitter, man. I can't this week.
I can't do it.
I love the pods, but this week's going to be hard.
I've given up on Facebook completely. And
I don't
Twitter's
do Facebook, but Twitter, I'm all over the Twitter's like universe, and it's just already, man. It's creeping in.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
Nah, spot on. Thanks a lot, Jim.
No worries, mate. Take care, all right?
See
you, Terry.
You got me out of bed, man. I was sitting in bed and you went, I have got no one in the chat, and I felt so bad. I was like, fuck it, put the robe on.
I was ready to go to bed as well. I thought that's it. Night over, 45 minutes, short and sharp.
I did it for you, bro. I thought my night was done. Oh, God. Yeah, we pretty much summed it up. Outclassed, outplayed. Just a very good team. They're really good. They didn't even need to throw a punch at us, to be completely honest. Not once did they need to throw a punch. And I just felt like maybe we were a bit lethargic, but I don't think anything that we were going to do tonight was going to get the win. No. Nothing that we could have done tonight with the planning that we had put into that game was never going to win tonight. No. And that's no one's real fault. It's just that's where we're at the moment.
You think, we're going to they break with a factor?
No, I don't think so. But they're pretty professional the way they do it. They're pretty methodical. They don't need to get a ton of the ball. I do think you're right about like Wiedering, for example. Something's going on with him. I don't know. He's clearly not match fit. He's clearly not. Cripps, don't know what's going on with him at the moment. Last few weeks, he's been a bit down. He was hobbling around like an old man at some point tonight. Missed Lockie O'Brien's width and depth as a wingman. I don't know why the hell we dropped him. I wanted to actually bring these topics up, and I think I've gone past the point. A lot of us supporters, as a supporter base, have gone past the point of pinpointing players out. But this is more of a progressive type of thing, trying to find where these players are and how they can better themselves. What is Liam Stocker? Like, what is he? So, like, if I'm Liam Stocker, I'd be looking at my game and saying, I want to be the next Nick Dacos. I want to be that. I don't need to be playing on a man, but I know I'm pretty good by foot and meters gained. Is he that type of footballer? Can we get him to that type? I'm not saying can he get him up to the level of being 40 plus 3 goals type of player, but can he be a player that impacts the game a little bit more by getting a few more touches? That's what I'm saying. Not bagging the bloke as a player. Okay, I'm just saying maybe can we get a little bit more out of him? I feel we've got some players as well that really like to stop the game and at halt. Newman he loves getting the ball and just stopping. It kills our momentum, I feel, sometimes. But again, I'm not hating on anyone. It's just more trying to find something that we can maybe change as a club. Can't wait long enough to get Mitch McGovern back into this team as an intercept type of footballer, get that run and dash that we obviously had in the first 2 rounds, but hopefully we can get in the back end of the year. I think Zach Williams out right now is killing us.
Starting to feel it.
Yeah, we are. We are, definitely. And hopefully Pitt comes back next week. You'd think that Pitt and McGovern would come straight back in after what they did today.
They looked. I mean, there was no stream or anything, but it seemed like they got through. Gov seemed to kick a winning goal. I don't know how much longer they need.
They look both fine. I think you'd play both of them. But yeah, I don't think that even if those two were in the team, we would have won tonight. It's not that. Selection is not the point. It's more about the way that we're going to be about it as a team. Like, I can't stand this whole who have we beaten this year?
Oh, no.
The litmus test. The litmus test. I know tonight was a big thing and tonight was a big night for us, but yeah, are we there yet? No, we're not. So don't go around saying, we haven't versed and we haven't beaten anyone. Bro, people had us finishing the bottom 6 this year. Bottom 4 that we're no one, we're nothing. Okay. I think the glass is definitely half full. Tonight's just a rotten night. Simple as that.
Mate, spot on. I'm going to get comfy like you. Yeah, I'm going to lick my wounds. I'm going to get into a robe because that looks super comfy, whatever's going on.
It is not bad, eh? It's not bad.
Yeah.
Go to bed, bro.
Love it. All right, brother.
Good
Take care.
Brother. Good seeing you, bro. Yeah.
Carls.
Terry, how are you?
Is this your first time on the fan cams?
It is. It is. I'm making my debut on a
Carls
loss.
Ramirez, welcome to the fan cams.
Thank you so much for having me on. Been meaning to come on for quite some time, actually.
Yep.
It's a shame under the circumstances. It was a loss tonight, so I'm pretty disappointed. I can't say I watched the whole game. I had friends over. They were Cat supporters, so I kind of lost my shit quite early and left the TV. I left the room. But, yeah, I'm okay now. But, yeah, look, I mean, the boys can do so well and then can blow it the next game. And the pattern seems to be win-loss at the moment. So,
yeah.
One of those things, yeah.
It's been that way for the last 6 weeks, I think. I think it's win-loss for 6 weeks. So yeah, you just can't. I mean, and it makes sense. We had a big chunk of injuries. Now we're going to start seeing them come back next week. Hopefully, get McGovern and Pitto back, one if not two. But then we kind of got to wait a little bit because they need a few weeks to get their touch back.
Well, that's it exactly. So I am going to the game next week. So hopefully we can get up. It'd be nice. It'd be nice too.
It would be. Nah, fingers crossed.
That's it. Exactly. But thank you so much for everything you do as well. And I want to say a big hello to everyone in the chat. Everyone's so awesome. So we should all keep in good spirits.
Love it. Love your work, Carl. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Ciao.
All right. Last but not least, Webby.
Hi, Terry. How are you, mate?
You got a light on there, mate?
Yes, I do.
There we go.
Got home. How are you, buddy?
Mate, I'm all right. We'll be fine. We'll fight to live another day.
Reality check, my friend. Reality check.
Yes, it was a reality check.
Full credit to Geelong. They went to school on us and they gave us no space all night. And yeah, it's just a shit game, mate. Seriously.
Yeah, one that we'll put behind us. But we needed win. I mean, it's hard in the moment. I get it. People are pissed off and they're disappointed. Not everyone, but some people. I just think I look forward to more of these lessons. I know they're going to come. There's so many more coming. We haven't even played finals football yet and learnt the harsh finals lessons yet. So I'm just, I've got faith in the direction of it all, and we'll be right.
Yeah, I'm still shaking my head how O'Brien got dropped over some of those other blokes. I'm not going to name them, but it's disappointing.
Yeah. Would you bring O'Brien straight back in?
Yes. For his kicking ability.
Yeah.
Like O'Brien has shortcomings. I get that. He isn't the hardest player. I get that. But his kicking is elite. Elite. He has to be playing. He has to be playing over a Nunes who got 12 touches tonight. O'Brien could have done that. I'm not normally someone who goes up after umpires, but just bear with me. But this is supposed to be an elite competition. Was that elite umpiring tonight in your opinion? What a catch player is tackled while he's bouncing the ball. That is holding the ball.
Yeah,
right.
I actually did that in my first game of footy. I went to take off and I bounced the ball while I was being tackled and got pinned.
Holding the ball.
I'll never forget it. That's the rule. Yeah. No, look, there were a few doozies.
It was a shocking display of umpiring for a top 4 clash, and Nathan Williamson just isn't up to the standard. This happens every time he umpires a Carlton game. Every time, Terry.
He gets people up and about. He gets the people up and about. I can't remember who tweeted it when they announced who would be umpiring the game, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, some of the umpiring was shit house. It's been shit house all year. It's not going to be when I don't imagine a world where we come here after a game and we say, God, the umpiring was good tonight. I just can't imagine it. You know,
the umpires have to become full time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I just think
it wasn't good enough tonight, Terry. It's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. But
it's probably me. It's probably me whinging because Carlton's lost. But seriously, mate, like it just wasn't good enough.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But more importantly, we've got to win next week. So
yeah. So GWS and Adelaide just must win, and win those. We play finals, and that's all I wanted at the start. So
take a deep breath, mate. Have a nice long sleep, and we'll be right.
I'll go home and watch the replay.
Love it. Good on you, Webby.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
See you, mate. All right, guys. That'll do it. Short and sharp, 1 hour. What was said was needed to be said. It's done. We'll get the review and the play ratings out tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we need to respond next week. So we'll look forward to hopefully doing that. Have a great one.